Welcome to virtuallyred.com. My name is Eric Hinderer, and I'm going to take you through an NSX-v Identity Firewall demo. So in our lab, we've configured Identity Firewall previously through the steps you've seen in the blog article, and we're just going to walk you through what we have configured in the actual firewall role sections. So we've got the default section, which is set to allow, of course. We have created internal services to internal services section that basically allows our app-to-app communication between our internal services. These are our web servers. Let's take a look at those really quick. Here we can actually see that internal services group, right? And we see that allowed. We have our VDI to applications. And so this is, of course, a subnet that defines our VDI VMs. We're just using that as in place of a logical switch because we don't have any NSX networking deployed in this demo. And we have that allowed to the internal service, or we have that to the internal services group for the destination, and that is set to block. So anything from the VDI network to internal services, any of those web servers, is set to block. We've got a network admin access, which is our network admin login. He's allowed to any internal services, as you see what they allow. However, we've created a rule here in the demo called block manual pay raise. And that basically has the source of the network admin Active Directory group bound to the network admin NSX security group, and the destination for all the different HR servers, service any, and set to block. We have the human resources access rule set to the HR admin Active Directory group mapped to the NSX security group with the destination of the HR web with a service of HTTP and HTTPS. And that is set to allow. So what we should expect to see here in our demo is that when we log in as human resources, they're allowed to see the HR web, but not allowed to see the other application servers. We would see that network admin would have access to all the other web servers except for the HR servers, right? Because we've set up a block manual pay raise rule here to prevent the network admin from giving himself a manual pay raise, right? So once again, we have our Active Directory rule section, our internal services rule section, and we'll get started with the demo here. So we'll jump over to our desktop, and we'll log in first as our NetAdmin user. And so we've got our network admin user logged on to his desktop. And we've got some handy shortcuts up here, browser bookmarks we've created for our application. So we've created a rule, remember here, that basically blocks NetAdmin from the HR Web 01 as well as the DB and the app. So we'll take a look here at what happens as we go through the different actual web servers. So there's the customer DB app. Let's see if the network admin has access to that. Sure enough, he does. And the finance app. And lo and behold, he's got access to that. Now let's take a look at the HR app and see if he can give himself a pay raise. All right, as we see, that is connecting. And still connecting. And that is going to time out. We'll go ahead and we'll let that actually time out here. So remember what we have created there, of course, is that block on the HR Web 01A. So as you see, site can't be reached. So once again, he's got access to customer DB, finance, but not the HR app server, right? The web server itself. So let's take a look at our human resources user. Our human resource admin should be allowed to that web server, but not allowed to any of the other web servers. So let's take a look at that. We're going to log in as our HR admin. Open up our web browser. So let's go through this again. The HR admin should have access to the HR app. And they do. So we can see the HR employee salary database. Here we see quite a few people, overpaid as you see, by far. I wish I worked at this company. So let's take a look at the Finance app and see if the HR admin user has access to the Finance DB. Now they should not, of course, right? Because we've only allowed them to the HR Web O&A, right? And then there's nothing else for them until down here at VDI, which is blocking any other internal services, right? Anything else, any of those other web servers. So you see that times out on the Finance, and of course Customer DB, that will time out as well. So once again, while we wait for that to time out, remember, it's the order of precedence in the rules, folks. So here we've got our block manual pay raise for the net admin, of course, for those HR servers, right, set to block. However, right below it, he's allowed to any internal services, right? So he's blocked to the HR first, allowed to anything else, right? Let's go take a look at that user again. That's going to time out for the Customer DB app. So the HR admin is logged in. They can get to the HRDB app, the Finance DB app. However, times out, of course, on the Customer DB app and the Finance app. So once again, this is VMware NSX-v Identity Firewall. Quick demo and showing you how you could use this for controlling user access in your environment with some granularity and some ease and simplicity. I hope you had fun, and tune in again to virtuallyred.com for the next blog. Thanks.